Hello and welcome everybody to the Galactic Family Podcast. We're just doing a sound check at the moment. All right, Lady Daniel, can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Can you
I can
see
hear
me
you.
okay? Am I good? I'm not skipping or anything? Lady Daniel, can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you
yes, I
see
can
me
hear
moving
you.
around? I'm not skipping or anything?
No, no.
Okay, all right. All right, so what we're going to do
Yeah,
is
you
now,
are. There's there's buffering problems and audio. Technology.
yeah,
Gotta
I
love
love
it.
technology. All right, how about now? All right. Well, anyway, we have Jeff Woolline on the podcast today, and he is a trailblazing UFO
We'll
hunter.
have to see. It sounds okay now.
What's that? All right, there we go. Lady Daniel, is it me glitching out or is it Jeff glitching out? I don't know who's glitching out.
Um, Jeff kind of glitched out, but it looks like he's back again.
Am I moving though? Am I okay?
Yep, yeah, get okay on my side, yeah.
All right. It might be you, Jeff. It might be the weather because it cuts out on my side then, and I think it's just you. But okay.
I think
Anyway,
it seems to have balanced out though.
all right. Let's try this here. All right, Jeff. We have Jeff Wilwin on the Galactic Family Podcast. Jeff Woolen is a renowned UFO hunter
Well,
who, oh, I guess that's some background here noise. Jeff Woolen is a renowned UFO hunter whose groundbreaking research has a lasting impact on the field of UFO studies. Over the last years, he's been featured on numerous television programs and news reports, including the UFO Hunters on the History Channel, A&E's The Truth Is Out There, is that 2TV? 2TV, and several international broadcasts. His work has not only contributed to the major UFO investigations, but has also played a critical role in shaping some of the most popular television series on extraterrestrial phenomena. Hey, Lady Daniel.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Jeff. It's got to be the weather, Jeff. They don't want you to be on here.
I'm
Oh,
perfectly running fine.
yeah, I'm running fine too. I think. Right, Daniel? Right, Lady
Yeah.
Daniel. Okay, I'm
Uh,
not sure. It must. It's, Jeff, you still with us? I'm almost positive that it's the weather in your area.
hear me?
All right, I can hear you now. Can you hear us?
Probably. It's storming here. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes, I not.
I think you're coming in now. Good. Okay, there we go. It's got to be the
Yeah,
weather.
we're gonna have to try this again.
All right, so we will have you on again, sir. Let me hold on right before you get off here, because we're going to do something else then besides this right here. Before we get off, let me reschedule it because the weather must be terrible
Okay.
there. Let me see. We will do. Well, if you can come on next Saturday. Next Saturday, we'll do it at 8:00 p.m.
So
Next
are you
Saturday.
are you are you, are you canceling the show or what's
No,
happening?
no. We're gonna do something. If he can do, if we're just switch it. If he can do next Saturday, then we'll do next Saturdays today.
Okay.
If he can do next Saturday, then we'll do next Saturdays today. Does that sound good to you, Jeff?
Okay. Things seem to be working now.
All right.
I missed it.
Yeah, I think we got something going on here. It's like some kind of weather stuff. It's like.
I missed it.
Okay, he's kind of like say something, keep on talking and say something.
What? Keep on talking? Me keep on talking, or Jeff keep on talking?
Jeff, say something, keep on talking and say something.
Test. Mic check. Yes, okay. Mic check. Okay.
Yeah, your sound's coming through. It's just your video's choppy. That's it.
Mic check. Yes, okay.
As long as the sound works.
Yeah, I mean, we have
Okay.
everything.
Yeah, we'll have to try it again later if you like.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that, Jeff. I'm sorry. It's got to be the weather going on.
Try it again later if you like.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that, Jeff. I'm sorry. It's got to be the weather going on.
Yeah. No worries. It's cool.
All right. Appreciate it, Ben. Lady Daniel, can you hear me okay? Am I coming in
Yes.
okay? I'm fine. I'm
coming in
moving
very
around
well.
okay and everything.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got to be it's got to be the weather. Thank you, Jeff, for being here. Shoot. Well, sorry guys. I had a whole speech. I had a whole speech prepared for Jeff and everything, and it was going to be a good one. But that's okay because we could still do something really fun. I had this all planned out for next week, but we can do that today. So there's a really interesting podcast. Well, not a podcast, a show that I found that was back in the 70s, 1970s. Okay. And this show aired on television in the United States, and it was bought out by another company. Okay. This other company bought them out, and now all these videos now are copyright of me because the company got bought out. So, hold on, let me see if. Oh, wait, did he come back? Nope. Okay. All right, here, yep, courtesy of me. So here we go. We've got one video here that I'll pull up on the screen. Now, this is video one of this weird show, and I'm talking really weird. Okay. Show's gonna make your toes curl. All right. So just they're not very long either. So we'll go over
Okay.
this one right here. Love it how it takes time to load. All right, you know what? We'll just do this. Hold on. 1 second. Get that off the stage. All right, let me see here. Video. Let me see if we got. Oh wait. We might have got him back. Hold on. Jeff, can you hear us now? You got no wait. Wait. We might have got him back. Jeff, can you hear us now?
Yeah. Yeah, are you there?
Yep, it's still the weather. I love it.
Is it working?
Yes.
It's working now.
Okay.
All right. So let's try this again here. So we got Jeff Woolen on the show, and we're going to be going over some of the data that he came up with when he was investigating the Phoenix Lights incident. Came up with when he was investigating the Phoenix Lights incident. Let me get it here. Let me pull it up here again. Just getting it pulled up on the screen again here. All right, so this is the Phoenix Lights. Let me see if I have it here. The original video. Yep, I got it. All right, so this is like. Let's see if I have it here. The original video. All right. This is the original video that was. Hold on a second. And I'm back here. We won the original video that was. Hold on a second. I'm just wondering where that sound is coming from.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's not working for us.
It has to be the weather, man. It really does. It's fine.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's try it again later then.
Yeah, no,
I was
you're
hoping
good,
I
man.
could,
We'll
you
switch
know,
it.
refresh it and then come back.
We'll do next Saturday, man.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's try it again later. All right. All right. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Now I think I'm breaking up. Can you hear me now, Lady Daniel? You can? I don't know what's going on with
Yes,
mine.
I can hear you. Sorry, I had to unmute myself.
Can you see my camera moving okay? Or am I stuck?
You're freezing it for a bit.
Hold on. Why is my camera giving me a hard time? Come on.
What the hell?
trying to get myself back on here. Hold on 1 second, because I'm going to do something else here.
You seem to be running smoothly now.
Okay, how's that now?
Say
Is that
about 95%.
95%. Okay, that's better than nothing. All right, so
what's the weather like there that it's terrible?
we've been having it's really cloudy here and stuff, and we've been having a lot of just bad weather here. It's just cloudy, mucky, cold. I guess it's not good for the internet. So, but that's okay. Like I said, because I already had something planned out just in case. So this is a weird show from the. All right, so we're going to go over the first one here. This show right here is really weird. Hold on, let me get it here pulled up. Yep, there we go. Now it'll be fine. All right. Here we go. All right. So this show is pretty cool. All right. It's a really old show from the 60s or 70s. Okay. When they tried to start their own paranormal show or something, or they wanted to. The show got bought out. And
this footage was filmed by the sole survivor of the Vega, the Soviet cargo.
Hold on. Wrong one.
This footage was filmed by the sole survivor of the Vega, the Soviet cargo ship which went down in the Indian Ocean on the 7th August 1950. To this day, the circumstances of this tragedy have never come to light, since no distress signal was ever picked up. Following the disaster, this passenger, whose identity we cannot reveal, filmed his daily log. The motor of his lifeboat is burned out and would appear to be completely unusable since the castaway is using his oars. First day, he shows us what provisions he has. We can see biscuits and his double water rations. A flare pistol. He seems not to have any instruments for navigating or taking bearings. His morale is good. Third day. Morale is still high. The man jokes about wanting a smoke. A squall is coming up. Ninth day. Atmospheric conditions are not improving. Fatigue is starting to set in. The man seems distressed. 15th day. He has thrown away a container of water. It must have been empty or the water tainted. He shows us his provisions, which have diminished, and which he has now divided into daily rations. His face is sunburned. His morale is suffering. It is twilight. This shot may have been accidental. It is undated. 21st day. Something must have occurred. The man is euphoric. He says, I'd film it if I could. He shows us his provisions again, and we can see that during the last 6 days he has not touched them. Or whom is he speaking about? How can he keep himself in such good shape? 27th day. The man is in better shape than on the 21st day. Watch him closely. His behavior has modified. Are we to understand from these gestures that he is watching the sea or that he is on his guard? What exactly does he mean? Look at these provisions, which remain untouched by him. How is he feeding himself? 33rd day. Watch carefully what is about to happen. The first thing he shows us is his provisions. This time they have gone down, but that still does not explain how he could have gone for 18 days without touching it.
Damn.
Look carefully at his face. We think that the man has already made up his mind. The dock you can see on the horizon is a ship. He picks up his flare pistol, which he has already prepared. He loads it. He is going to fire. He doesn't fire. He puts it back down.
What?
This decision might have cost him his life.
You there?
Got kicked out.
How can you get kicked out of your own room?
You know, I would love to know that
The
too.
discovery now profoundly damages his morale. "39th day. He is very tired. His health is now endangered. He repeats, I don't see it anymore. What or whom is he talking about? In theory, this man should already be dead. 40th day. It is twilight. This is certainly the last of his rations. "41st day. Twilight again. 2 days ago, this man was at the point of death. Where is he finding the energy to keep his gestures steady? He has just thrown away his last water supplies. He now has nothing more to drink or eat. We know that these flares are not intended for possible ships. What is he so sure of? 42nd day. Twilight once more. We do not know why he is filming, but presume that he is on guard and is afraid of missing something. Pay close attention to what you're about to see. Everything takes place very quickly. Look, this is not a natural phenomenon. It is what he was waiting for. It is difficult to give an opinion about what we have just seen. For him, the voyage is over.
What
He
did
leaves a
we
message.
see?
He seems strangely happy. We do not think that it is a question of suicide. He is resolute. This man has a rendezvous.
What?
The lifeboat ran aground on the coast of Madagascar. The salt spray had already half effaced the inscription that the man had written on the tarpaulin. Looking closely at the letters, one could read, "Those who have seen it can never come back. It's the rest was erased forevermore."
So this is part of a show called The Forbidden Files.
Mm-hmm.
It came out a long time ago. And yeah, it's really weird, like really weird. Like we got the second one here. Now, do you think that guy survived? How did he survive that long?
I feel he probably had he was probably interacting with extraterrestrials or something, and they were helping him out.
I mean, he left the boat and swam to the middle of the ocean. For what?
But what was that in the sky? It was like this bright.
I don't know. It was some kind of light or some kind of like, it was a light in the sky, but you couldn't actually see exactly
What it is, yeah.
what it was. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying extraterrestrials, Elohim, Star Nation. They probably helped him out, and then maybe because he was been in contact with them and says, "Nah, life is too shit on this planet. I'm gonna go. Its life is better off world."
And he kept the flare. He kept the flare. He didn't fire it at the ship that was right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he got help too.
Mm-hmm.
But
off world.
I mean, we could hope. I mean, we hope and pray he got help. I mean, I don't know. Looking at it, it was really weird seeing that he never touched his food in like how many days? Like 12, 13, 14 days and everything, right?
And you can also see that he's been nourished. So he must have got his food from elsewhere.
And that just doesn't make sense because how the heck are you getting food from elsewhere, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Next one. This is episode 2 of that same thing, but this one's a little bit shorter, actually. It's like 4 minutes. Let's go to the next one here. This is an old show, like I said, from the 70s that was bought out by an American company, mind you, bought them out in the 70s, and they never released these films. So let's go on to the second one here. This is another one from the same television series that is now copyrighted to me.
Has not been subjected to any editing. Its commentary was recorded under oath by the man who filmed it.
My name is Kevin Riley.
My name is Kevin Riley. I'm 31 years old. On the 11th July 1970, my friends and I had decided to spend the night under the stars in the Rucksacker Zone region. This is Cindy, my fiancée. We're married now. And Stephen Payne, my best friend, who was 29 at the time of these events. We studied architecture together. Karen, Stephen's wife. All 4 of us were childhood friends.
We left Greenfields around
10 a.m. In the car, Stephen told me he was happy to be making this journey east. At about 1 p.m., we stopped at Pinewood Park, as we usually did whenever we took this road. We prepared a joke to play on Cindy.
My wife.
Here, my wife is filming me. Karen and Stephen were really in love with each other. We used to like teasing them. We turned off Route 340 just before 4:30 in the direction of Rucksacker Zone. It was the 3rd time we'd been to this place. We crossed the dunes, then followed Rucksacker Canyons. I must say that the whole way, Stephen showed no sign that could have alerted us to what was going to happen.
Around 6 p.m., Cindy and Karen were preparing.
Around 6 p.m., Cindy and Karen were getting dinner ready. Stephen got back and asked us if we heard the music that was like crystal bubbles.
Hmm?
Show us the direction.
He pointed in this direction.
Indians call this place
The Indians call this place the River of Stones that runs over the sleeping forest.
We listened as hard
We listened as hard as we could, but we couldn't hear anything but the desert.
Stephen seemed disappointed.
Stephen seemed upset and irritable.
At this very moment,
From that moment on, I had an intuition, a deep feeling that something was going to happen.
when I see these
When I see these pictures again, it feels like I'm showing you a dream. The shot came after dinner. Look closely at our dear friend Stephen, because it's the last time we saw him. Look at the way he persistently stares up in the same direction. Stephen stood up. We don't know what's happening. He doesn't respond to our shouts.
and then he jumped.
He's running and then he jumps.
What?
And right there on the dunes, we had to face the facts. Stephen had completely disappeared. His footsteps were the proof.
What?
Karen started screaming. She wanted to.
Karen started screaming that she wanted to vanish as well and go.
Where the hell did he go?
Cindy tried to calm her down.
Cindy was trying to calm her down. I was so blown away that I kept right on filming. And perhaps I did it because somehow I hoped this film would one day help us to understand how Stephen disappeared, what he'd heard, who had called him, and why this 11th of July he had leapt into the unknown at Rucksaka Zone.
Fascinating.
That's pretty weird. That guy jumped
I
and was
have
gone.
I have two possible theories.
What?
One, he probably hopped into a spaceship that was invisible.
Or a portal.
That was the option two.
Oh.
But the thing is, you didn't see anything appear like I've seen a wormhole before in my parents' backyard, but there's nothing like that, which is weird.
Yeah, it was really weird. So let's go on to number 3 here. All right, this is the third one of the old show. Here we go. Yeah, this is pretty weird. I found this and I'm like, I watched all these and then I was just like, oh my God. All right, here's the next one.
The 2nd of December, 1953. As arranged, Miguel has met me on the way out of the village. He has finally agreed to take me to the nameless ones. He doesn't want me to film. He has spoken at length to my car, telling it that we are to go on a long journey, but that it will not be going all the way with us, and it must forgive us.
Is the sound working?
Miguel says that
Yeah, can you hear it?
quite dead.
Okay.
It's gone mute again.
December. We arrive at the house of Miguel's father.
Just have to try and repeat that
Beginning of the world,
this
and he has
video
cried.
again so that people can see what's
All the
happening.
way with us, and it must forgive us. The 4th of December. We've been gone for 2 days. Miguel has asked me to drive.
Can you hear it now?
He has accepted the camera since my assuring him that this film would only be seen once one or the other of us was dead. Miguel says that he will never be quite dead. Miguel me dijo, Miguel has told me that his father lives on the edge of the other world. He would not tell me anymore. 5 de diciembre. Llegamos 5th of December. We arrive at the house of Miguel's father. He tells me that his father was born soon after the beginning of the world and he is tired. He is never surprised by Miguel's visits because he dreams them 2 or 3 days before. Al atardecer, paseamos por el twilight, walking in the desert. The old man says, a long time ago here, there was a village, and then the Great War came. It wiped out all the roads, and the people got lost, and the desert swallowed the empty houses. The desert is always the strongest one. El padre de Miguel, Miguel's father, has told me that I am too delicate for the spirits of the desert, and I had better sleep in the car. I did just that. 6th of December. For more than an hour, Miguel's father has been consulting the desert. Around 10 a.m., the father has come over to talk to his son. He talks in a dialect that only Miguel can translate. If, on the 2nd day, we meet a lizard crossing the road from left to right, we have to follow that direction. If on the 3rd day, a bird circles us twice overhead, we must immediately sit down and defend ourselves. It means they are not yet ready. If on the 4th night, an icy wind wakes you, it means they want to test you and have asked Death to fan you with his veil. On the 5th day, they may show you something or nothing at all. They are very powerful, but they hide themselves since what they do is not of our world. They capture words because no word is true, and they drive them into the earth. Our Mother Earth is wounded by words that carry madness, and the night takes vengeance on men and frightens them by setting the words free. And when the earth speaks to herself, I am terrified, and I hide away in my cabin. Okay. Seventh of December. Today we are entering the country where it rains stones. We must not speak all day. 8th of December. We've just seen the lizard. Now we must follow this direction. A stop at the end of the afternoon. I can hardly believe we had to actually follow a lizard. Miguel tells me that it was nothing but a lizard. 9th of December. Mid-morning, a bird overhead. Miguel is scared of me filming it. He thinks it is dangerous. We stayed in the position Miguel's father had shown us for more than 3 hours. Later, we headed west. 10th of December. On the other side, the land of the nameless ones begins. Miguel tells me that they can travel very quickly across this vast space, but sometimes they are really there, other times they are only dreams. He did not say anymore. Miguel does not think we will have long to wait. I suddenly realized that everything has happened just as his father said it would. I am much more impressed than I let on. 11th of December. Early this morning, a figure appeared on the rocks. In front of my eyes, it headed for the rock face, only to reappear at the same instant 500 yards away. Miguel whispered to me that it moved with the dream. I didn't believe what I was filming. This evening, Miguel asked me to film myself with him. I have a premonition, but refuse to admit it. 12 de diciembre, 12th of December. Mañana temprano, early this morning, two figures appeared. And at the very moment I saw Miguel down on the rock, he whispered beside me, "Time is only an illusion." Cuando me di vuelta, I turned towards him, but he was no longer there. I was filming by reflex. When I turned back to the rock, it was already empty. So I looked for them over where I had seen the figure the day before. I found them again on the rock. They gave me the impression of disappearing into the stone. And then I saw them again about 3 miles away. At the edge of the precipice, they were looking out at their future destination. I thought they were going to wave to me, but they disappeared again. I knew I would never see them again. And later on, I went to the rock where I'd seen them and left Miguel's bag there. If there were any tracks, they would have been on the sand of the plateau. But by the time I got there, the wind would have wiped them out. There was nothing but my film. 17th of December. I arrived at Miguel's father's. He was no longer there, and the desert was reclaiming the cabin. I tried not to show any surprise. I had found out that not all beings have the same allotment of time, and that those who can expand it become ghosts. Later on, I filmed myself cleaning the car, and then wanted to carry on filming right up to the last frame to reassure myself, to convince myself that I was not one of the ghosts that Miguel had told me of. One of those beings who returned from the unknown to bring us messages that sometimes we do not understand.
Well,
That was weird.
it's a weird one. The guy jumped off a rock and ended up 3 miles away. All three of them?
Like Star Trek teleporting.
That was a weird one. I don't know. I'm looking at that one going, they found some kind of way to slip in and out. Wow. All right. Well, let's do that. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. What about you, Lady Daniel? Like portal. They found some portals, ancient Indian portals. Nah.
Are you talking about First Nations?
I mean, could be like, and any of them. Like they do have rock faces that have the portal symbol on them, which is a swirly like symbol. Could it be they found where they went and where they came out? I don't know.
Just kind of what it looks to me is like somewhere is that like a like sort of like a teleporting gadget.
Something like that. But it was just, I don't know. It was something like weird. Let's go to this one here. This one is the next one in that series, and it's called The Divers. So this should be interesting. They're going to be under the water. Let's see what divers come up with in 1970, people. Here we go.
This footage was passed on to us by and could seriously compromise the relations we maintain. We believe the film to date from the year of the
They bleeped it out, of course.
a part of the world which we cannot situate. Anything that might provide us with information about these men has been altered or removed, and not a word will be uttered during these pictures. Careful examination enables us to confirm that this film has not been the subject of any fake. We do not believe that these images could have been filmed secretly.
gehört zu dem Kommando und er
The
bewegt
cameraman was a member of the commando unit and has, as you can see, complete freedom of movement.
wahrscheinlich
We believe that this scenario was certainly intended as a disinformation operation.
What the hell?
die Rollenverteilung ist
The
eindeutig.
setup is relatively simple.
Überwachen das Limit.
These men are keeping watch on the sea. Two of them are divers.
Hier laufen sehen,
The man you see walking past is no doubt playing the role of the leader.
auf welche Weise
Notice how we end up seeing his face.
das ist
This is intentional.
völlig unbekannt.
This man is completely unknown to us.
Nun verfolgen Sie bitte genau,
Pay close attention now to what is about to happen.
den Sie in der Mitte
The spot in the middle of the picture is a man swimming.
woher kommt der?
Where has he come from?
Aber auf
Is it him that the group was watching out for?
diesen Eindruck
It would be tempting to think so were it not for the fact that the pictures which follow were no longer filmed secretly.
nicht gedreht worden sind. Wir wagen die Vermutung,
We can hypothesize that the cameraman knew the reality of this mission
etwa.
from the way he stays on this dive.
Er muss wissen, dass er diesen
He must know that he is seeing this man for the last time. Watch him closely,
wird dieser Mann
for in a few seconds this man will disappear before our eyes.
mitten im Meer
This man out in the middle of the sea is a fearsome weapon. What follows is not play acting.
nicht was wäre.
What has happened? The diver is panicked. He has no equipment. He wants to get back into the dinghy.
Oh,
What is
damn.
preventing him?
Er will zurück auf das Boot. Der Schwimmer hindert.
What the heck was that?
The other watches them. They must have passed under the dinghy.
Aquaman.
What?
Der Taucher versucht
The diver tries once again to climb aboard. Why is no one
der
helping him?
Schwimmer
The swimmer intervenes.
No way.
But he does not do it with excessive brutality, even though he certainly could.
Der andere Taucher lässt
The other diver's gaze follows him. They must have disappeared very quickly, since it would seem
I'm about to put my face that close to the water.
taucht.
he dives.
No. No. No, dude, no.
Nichts gesehen.
He hasn't found anything.
Oh my God.
The cameraman has spotted them at least 600 yards from the boat. How are they able to travel so quickly? There. He's still holding on to the diver. He's dragging him along. This man is fantastically strong.
Achtung, jetzt taucht er.
Well, watch now. He has just reappeared at least 400 yards from the boat. He is swimming with disconcerting ease. Right then, this man has decided to let us see only a tiny fraction of his potential.
Sie nicht wiedersehen. All dies
He dives again.
34
We will not see him again. This has all taken place in real time, precisely 34 seconds.
fassungslos.
The other diver is flabbergasted by what he has just seen. He insists on searching the water, but he knows that he will see nothing there.
Kameramann zeigt uns,
The cameraman shows us that there is one person missing from these dinghies. That is the proof.
später wurde der Taucher
7 days later, the diver was washed up on a beach. He is now in a mental asylum.
der ist der Einzige, der
What?
Who knows?
It sounds like almost like a real life Aquaman situation.
Like in a mental institution, the only one that survived.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what did he see? Wow. No, no, not me.
Weird.
Not me. Nope.
Thanks for the wacky videos.
Yeah, like I found these, and it's funny because, you know, that's why I say, you know, copyright of me, because the company got bought out, and then the company that bought them out went out of business.
Hmm.
So the copyright is a free copyright. So I can show every episode online, and it doesn't matter. It's not a strike or anything because nobody owns it.
Mm.
But all right, here is this one is number 5, and it's called The Witch. Oh, let's see this one.
It was the sheriff who first informed me that at Marilla, an entire house had disappeared during the night. In 1934, Morella was one of the largest haciendas in the region. The sheriff said that it was a district that had never had any trouble and that the peons were reckoned there was something fishy, but he didn't want any problems with the guy. We arrived ahead of the villagers who were going over there in a procession. No creature wanted to come along with us. The house had gone, but its inhabitant, the Bruca, the witch, was sitting in her chair. The tree next to the house. The peon said she was a shape changer. The sheriff only had two deputies, so when the peons got there, he wanted to parley while he waited for reinforcements. The crowd was real junky. The dogs had been howling all night, the peon said, and tomorrow it's us who'll be howling. The sheriff told them that we were going to talk to the government about it, and the crowd calmed down so he could show me this child. 4 days ago, he said this child was bitten by the witch who had transformed herself into a coyote. The people are really worried. They believe anything they're told. And where has her house gone, I asked. I don't know. I really don't know. A little later, the crowd was up against the ropes, and they were shouting that the witch had to be killed. They wanted to lynch her. One woman, who was completely hysterical, was saying that she was going to be possessed if we didn't kill the witch right away. And then they fired in the air, and the crowd didn't budge. What happened at that moment was very strange. I had the impression that the witch had hypnotized the crowd.
What?
Now, watch what's going to happen. Watch the woman who's kneeling.
Oh! Where'd you go?
All this is true, really.
What?
It really is. And it astonishes me when I see it today. The witch had really and truly disappeared. She knew what she was doing. 6 months later, the story recommenced with the death of the estate owner. The hacienda had been immediately bought up by a mining company who were evacuating the peons. The militia that this company were employing were just a bunch of hoodlums. So I could film, I lied to them and told them I'd been sent by the company. They believed me. The villagers were lost. Some of them were saving what they could from their houses. Others were trying to make them uninhabitable.
Huh.
But any resistance would have been illegal and a lost cause, and they knew it. This old man was saying a peon must resign himself to life, and that's what they did. Nobody mentioned the witch again to me, even if some of them believed she was directly responsible for their fate. These people didn't know where they were being taken. Later, I learned that the militiamen had left them near a disused mine and that several families had settled in there, while the others had kept on walking. There's never any end to an exodus. The caravan was just heading into the woods when a dog ran out into the road. I didn't see where it came from, but I attempted to follow it because I had a feeling something was going to happen. It went in the direction of the witch's house, and when I got there myself, the black figure had come back, and the dog had disappeared. I was very frightened. I didn't dare go any closer. I didn't want to know what was under the veil. I knew nobody would ever believe me.
What?
I'm totally confused with that one. It's probably just a chair under the veil again.
I mean, you can see the feet at the bottom of it, but I don't know if it's real or not when it comes to that one. That one might be a one-off on this one. So let's go to number 6 here. This one is called
Questo film è stato
The Soldier. Oh, let's see. This should be a good one then, hopefully. But that one was kind of weird. I mean, I don't know, like if the guy was chasing him and if that all happened like they say he did, then I'm thinking it could be.
Because that one looks like it was all kind of like staged kind of thing.
It could have been staged too, because you're not following him and then it cuts out. Then you don't follow him, then it cuts out. So, but let's see what this one's about here.
This footage was shot by an American soldier belonging to the airborne troops who took part in the Sicily landings of July 1943. The pictures you see have undergone no editing and remain as we found them on the 19th August 1943 on the beach. This soldier was a very meticulous botanist, for we found in his notebooks very precise descriptions and sketches of all the plants he filmed. There was, however, no other information which could be of any help to us. We questioned this shepherdess, who remembered well having met the soldier with his camera. But, as these pictures show, she had not wanted to be filmed, so she had not spoken to him. She was unsure of the date. The child told us that the man had given him chewing gum, stroked his little dog, and filmed his sheep. He added that he had been very kind and that he'd been looking all around saying, bello, bello. We were not able to question this old man since he died 1 month before we began our inquiries. Our man ended that 18th August 1943 up above the San Antonio lookout point, then set off in the direction of the beach. 19th August 1943. Our soldier seems to be alone on the beach. He tries shooting a panoramic view. He starts on another take. Watch very carefully. When the camera reaches the sea, we can see a dot emerging from the water, and then a second. He has spotted them and reframes his shot. He has changed lenses. These are apparently just swimmers, but their behavior is strange. They have actually risen up from the bottom of the sea. The child is the first to spot him, the woman soon after. He goes to meet them. There has been, as you will see in a moment, contact between the soldier and these two beings because he now films from the shore. Look here at the proof that these are not simply swimmers, how they walk on the seabed and do not reappear.
What?
Now he films their footsteps before they disappear forever. He is feeling the need to accumulate proof, in our opinion, because he himself is not sure of what he has just seen and heard. He goes into the water with his camera. Watch these images closely, because our man is right now making a terrible decision. He tries to show us the path they took. These pictures speak for themselves. The man wants to go with them, out there where, as he well knows, he will see and know no more. What did they speak to him of? Who are they? Unfortunately, we will never have an answer to these questions, for the notebook contains no information on these two persons. Was he intending to come back when he left the camera on the beach? Watch. What you're about to see is a true enigma. The soldier enters the water.
What?
He walks along the seabed. He has found the path of those he follows. An undiscovered country has opened to him. This man is crossing the frontier. He will never return.
What? He will never return.
He's probably gone home.
Or he found a way to, that's weird. Wow. So he witnessed two people go into the ocean and thought it'd be a great idea to follow them the same way that they went. I don't know. I don't know if that would be such a good idea.
Could have been. It either was recorded, or this could have been also kind of like as well made up.
I mean, the only
Yeah.
thing we can do is watch and speculate at the moment because it's it's so many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll do. Let's see. The next one is called. Let me see here.
Because a lot of this water stuff it's just been always through the ages the tales of Atlantis and all that,
Yeah. There's been many of tales of Atlantis, like going back so much. All right, so this one is oh god, I can't even say that name. Tiber Nagy in Hungary, profession mechanic. Settled in the United States 1941. In 1945, marries Helen Bates, war widow, mother of estates, and owner of filling station. Let me see here real quick if this is part of
15th of April, 1990.
Yep. Here it is. All right, let me get back to that. All right, then I'm going to share this right on the screen now. Yeah, this one is another one that's pretty neat. There we go.
It is the 15th of April, 1990. The man you see in this footage is called Tibor Nagy. Today, once again, he will welcome the people who have been his followers for years. A very special anniversary is being prepared for here at the crossroads at Grand Central. And the story of how Tibor Nagy comes to be celebrating it is one of the strangest ever.
Oh, just to let you know, this episode is called Madman at the Crossroads.
With it fallen man. Tibor Nagy's real story started 36 years ago on the 15th of April, 1954, the day of his 40th birthday. Tibor, his wife Elaine, and their daughter Esther, then 12 years old, set off in their car for Woolworth, where Elaine's sister lives. There are two possible routes from Cape Town to Woolworth: Route 27, just open to traffic, and Route 4, the old road, now empty of heavy vehicles. It is here, 25 miles out, that the Nagy's whole life will reach a turning point. It was about 10:15, Tibor would later declare, when a huge shadow stopped right above us and brought the car to a standstill. Nothing would work. My wife screamed. My daughter started to cry. I told them not to be afraid. And then it seemed like night fell all around us. I don't know how much later, when I opened my eyes, we were all in the car, and the car was in a round white room, which was vibrating gently. I got out of the car, and suddenly, right in front of me, I saw the moon coming at me. So I took out my camera, which I always take with me when we have little get-togethers, and I filmed. I was shaking with fear. God, was I frightened.
Obviously, we know what this is.
Yeah, the members of the board merely took this for displaced nationalism, saw it in lack of patriotism. It was not believed. 2 months later, a second reconstruction was arranged. Its conclusions remain secret.
At the same moment, my daughter woke up, and I had to explain to her that I believe he had been picked up by a flying saucer. The same second, a man stepped into the room. Man, what was he like?
He seemed like us, but he was wearing a helmet on his head, and I couldn't see his face. He didn't say anything, but we understood that we needn't be afraid, and that I could film whatever I saw, but not the inside of the ship. I remember perfectly saying, "Yes, sir," and my daughter yelling, "We're higher than the moon." I watched and filmed. I filmed till I was out of film, and then I felt like we were falling. When I opened my eyes, my wife and my daughter were at the back of the car, and we were a few meters away from a road we didn't know. And I told my wife and my daughter, "God wants to test us. Must be brave." 36 years later, Tibor Nagy has taken his car back to the same place. All around him, every detail has been recreated, down to the field which has been cut the same way, and his words remain the same.
When I opened my eyes, my wife and my daughter were at the back of the car. And we were a few meters apart away from the road we didn't know really. And I told my wife and my daughter, God wants to put us to test. We must be courageous.
No one believed Tibor Nagy's story. Those of us who remember the period will know that scarcely a day went by without some Ohio farmer or fisherman from San Francisco seeing a flying saucer. However, what makes the Nagy affair different is that he is the first to have managed to bring back proof. And that proof is his film, which you are going to see in a few moments. He may have convinced us, but not the investigators. Their surprise soon gave way to mistrust. And Tibor is taken for a hoaxer who just wanted to get himself talked about. It's said that he is the owner of his garage thanks to an opportune marriage. Within a few weeks, things start to go downhill for the Nagy family. Everyone is waiting for Tibor to own up and confess that the whole thing had been staged. Tibor refuses to do so, saying that he'll bring further proofs. If only the ones who had once carried him off would come again. He would be sure to recognize them and so be able to prove that he, Tibor Nagy, is not alive. In February of 1955, the entire Nagy family settles in this tiny garage facing the crossroads at Grand Central. 4 years later, his wife contracts pleurisy, which gets the better of her. His daughter goes back to live in Woolworth, where she will get married before going off to live in Canada so as never to see her father again. Ever since that day in 1954, Tibor waits in the place where they set him down. Over the years, the village has grown in population, but there is still an exclusion zone around his garage. His followers have named him the Madman of the Crossroads, but not in a derogatory way. On the contrary, Tibor is as respected as a man who has met God in person. And it is as if one were setting foot in a shrine on that day when, in remembrance of all his trials, he shows his film.
It was April 15th. That day, Helen, my wife, and Esther, our daughter, and myself, we should have gone to visit Aunt Martha in Woolworth. That was my 40th birthday. And it became dark. When I opened my eyes, I saw the moon, like you are seeing it there.
No way.
And then we have flown over it.
No way. This is the 70s, though. You can't. This is an AI generated crap. Like,
I thought being on Earth,
no way. Wow.
but I was in hell.
The publicity given by the press to this affair was a kind of protection.
What?
Others were less fortunate. 2 years later, the inhabitants of this hamlet, situated 2 miles from the spot where Tibor had been carried off, and about which nothing was ever asked during the investigation, were evacuated, and sometime later the houses were burned to the ground and the road that led to them completely obliterated.
Whoa.
They want so badly to wipe out all trace of the Nagy affair.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Did you do that at the end? Did they wiped out his entire family?
just because some space people took them to the moon for a look around. It's crazy.
If that was real, come on now. You can compare that footage to every footage out there that ever was taken and say, did anyone ever take this footage on any spacecraft ever? And if it was taken on a spacecraft, deny the whole thing. But if it wasn't, that's a big implication there.
In the beginning, they mentioned they were picked up by a flying saucer.
Yeah, but I didn't actually think we were going to see the damn moon.
No, I was expecting to see as a flying saucer, and then. So, but one thing is quite fascinating is you could also see the moon. I mean, not the moon, the Earth from the moon in the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he took that. He said while he was in the ship looking out, and I'm like, wow! If that was real, come on! If that was real now, and that was the 70s, no CGI. No computers, no AI, no nothing. This is raw footage from that show from the 70s.
Wouldn't you think that footage is a bit older than the show? Because it's
footage that they got in the 70s, so it could have been before that. But I know the 40s stuff is some of the stuff in there. They were investigating that during the show. So
I was going to see when. The first people moon landings. I can't remember the exact date of when it was.
I just want to type in that. I want to put that video, just that clip of the moon, okay? Just that clip of the moon. Put that into the computer and say, is there any video like this?
Yeah, because the first human-made object touched the moon in 1959.
Okay.
And in 1969, that's when they started the Apollo missions.
When was the first video images from the moon brought back? Because this show was in the 70s and the 60s.
The moon landing was from 1969 to through to the 1970s. So because the first moon landing was Apollo 11.
We'd have to double check the video then with the other videos. But here is this is the
so you can say because that's an interesting video. It's not like it was like with The Witch and that could easily be made up. Even the sort of like the Aquaman stuff was like it was like cutting, you know.
Yeah.
But this stuff this was pretty interesting when you had the I've got two options. They genuinely went to the moon. That's one. Another one is they probably got some sort of discarded NASA footage that they've
maybe could be. It could be. I mean, it very well could be. We have to keep all the options on the table until we figure out what.
So that video would be actually perfect to put aside for research and compare the moon landings with that.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and see if it matches up, and if it doesn't, wow. This one, I'm not sure what the name of this is. But this one is let me see here, the 8th episode in this series. Like I said, it's not very long. They're short episodes. They're real quick.
Video unique of its kind as a warning. It was put together by Mr. Father of Peter and responsible for shooting the footage. Even as we tell you of it now, the story has only just reached its conclusion. As you are about to hear, Peter's father doesn't tell us everything, far from it, and a lot of things remain mysterious. Wherever possible, we have tried to cast some light on those shadowy areas. The 30th October 1979, my son and his mother leaving the hospital. Peter was born on the 14th October. The examinations were endless. I haven't found the matron. I'm convinced she lied to us. 16 days after his birth, Peter at last came home and our life changed. We didn't go out anymore. We didn't have anyone round. In these pictures, Peter is exactly a month old. Since we got back from hospital, we hadn't noticed anything out of the ordinary. His mother and I were happy and regaining our confidence. At 3 months, Peter was a very quiet child who smiled in his sleep, so we were sure that any danger was remote. Here, for reasons we don't know, the father's commentary ceases for several minutes. We'll get it back later. The images which follow perhaps explain this silence. It seems it all started towards the 6th month. Watch carefully. The mother is playing with Peter. While his mother's attention is elsewhere, the child looks up at his toy and the toy rises. It was the father who slowed down these images himself by way of silent commentary on this thing they'd been dreading all along. It is now the 14th of October 1980. What has happened over the last 6 months, we shall never know. The parents enter the room and find the curtains of the bed, as you can see, in disorder. These knots, which the father comes back on to prove it could not have been merely a breeze or the curtains coming unhooked while the child was asleep, but that it was the child himself who exercised his willpower on it. And if any more proof was needed, the child provided it the very next day, the 15th of October, when once again they found the curtains, this time in an improbable and, it must be said, rather disturbing position. And the parents do not hide their emotion. But how can they have let him do it? It's unlikely that they would not have kept an eye on the child alerted by the events of the day before. But those images we will never see, since they doubtless confirmed to the parents that Peter would never be like other children. Here, our little boy is 18 months old. He has been under the doctors for 6 months. We are told that it will all pass given time, and that we should carry on as if nothing. Oh! It's true that at first Peter only used his power on insignificant things, but despite all our efforts, we had trouble coming to terms with the extraordinary. And as time passed, what happened was the exact opposite of what. As we finally understood on Christmas Day, when Peter, who was 3.5, started to truly master his power. As you will see twice, he managed to unhook the balls from the tree, just one at first, but then he was so proud of what he'd done that he kept 3 of them up above his
Yeah, you go, kid.
entirely new. This was the first time he managed to displace several objects at the same time.
Oh, shit.
During these moments, Peter was so happy that we were quite disarmed. It was my parents who advised me to do laboratory experiments. I'll remember this day all my life. Peter was in an isolation chamber, and a man was asking him to make the foam rubber ball in front of him move. Peter couldn't do it and seemed completely lost. We couldn't speak to him. So what was he thinking of? Did he think we'd leave him there? Was he afraid of something? We never spoke roughly to him. Did he feel threatened by this doctor who kept giving him orders? Did the man use a gesture or expression that Peter could have misinterpreted? We have asked ourselves these questions and many others over and over again, trying to find an explanation for what happened. Peter tried to explain that he couldn't do anything with the ball. So the doctor asked him to concentrate on him and to look into his eyes. Peter complied, and a few seconds later the doctor staggered out of the room and said to us, "I pity you, he's a monster." Ever since that day, we kept Peter completely isolated, fearing that he might turn into a fairground attraction. Sensing what he was capable of, we saw nobody anymore. We lived with his power like a handicap that had to be completely hidden. We were helpless, we didn't know what to do. But these little family moments remind me how happy the 3 of us were. We were living a sort of secret life, completely turned in on ourselves, and I don't think we ever realized just how used to it Peter had become. He didn't mind at all spending his days in the
I've got a lot to say about this video.
Parents and the dog he was so intensely attached to. Here, the father's commentary stops once again. The rest is written in haste, but from what we have heard, we can have an idea of the final drawing. Look carefully at this photo, which brings together everyone. We have good reason to believe it was taken on the eve of the terrible events. Who would think from these smiling faces that in a matter of a few hours this family will be doubly hit? Our inquiry has established that the next day they were all to go to home at the school, specializing in children who, like Peter, show the particularities that you now know about. The first words scribbled by the father are, "I told him that we wouldn't be able to take the dog." Peter's reaction is not slow in coming. It is every bit as intense and final as the love he had for the animal. He couldn't take the idea of being separated, continues the father, and there was nothing we could do to calm him down. What Peter is capable of is terrifying. What happened a bit later when his mother attempted to reason with him, I was not able to film. What happened was an accident. I am leaving this cassette behind as testimony. Don't anybody try to find us. It's not his fault. I love my son. This story reached its denouement less than a year ago. After the events you have just seen, Mr. fled with Peter into a mountainous region. They would hide there for 7 years. During the winter of 1990, Mr. fell gravely ill. Peter, who was just 11 years old, decided to go down to the valley. He managed to cross the snowed-in hills and thus save the life of his father. Today, Peter has lost none of his powers and is cared for in a specialist inn.
So you got institutionalized?
Is that where The Exorcist came from?
I wouldn't say. I was thinking more like telekinesis issues or something like that.
No. I mean, I might believe the video, but what I'm saying is, did they take that video and make a horror film out of it?
I haven't actually watched
It's
the horror.
not The Exorcist. It's oh gosh, it's where the kid's born.
Mm-hmm.
The evil kid. The Omen.
I don't think I've watched that.
You haven't watched The Omen? O-M-E-N. Oh my gosh, The Omen is a classic. That's about a little kid that's like the Antichrist, and he gets brought up in a great family, but he does all these terrible things. He kills the pet. In the movie he does. He kills he does all these terrible things, and it's just bad all around. But it's like at the end of it, they have to dispatch him to God or whatever. And oh man, that reminded me so much of the of the Omen. I mean, like I'm watching that and I'm like, oh my God, that's the Omen. That's the Omen. It is the story of the Omen all over again, all day long. Like,
what I felt when I watched that is like, shame this poor kid. Although I'm not sure it's like made up or it was done with trick photography or whatnot, but I'm going according to the story, right? The story.
Yeah.
This poor kid has been born with these special abilities, and he can't control these things. It kind of brings me back to my childhood, where I was seen as like a demon and things like that because I used to pop up loud bulbs and things like that when I was a kid. But I never killed any pets or anything like that. But, sometimes, like I've seen stories of people having telekinesis, that they accidentally killed the cat or a member of the family in an argument
you heard in there that they said that
I just felt sorry for the kid, and then in hearing it got institutionalized is like this isn't real,
not institutionalized. He got sent to a special school to hone his abilities.
Okay.
That's why he was in there with that ball.
Mm-hmm.
So he got sent to that special school, that gifted and talented school that we hear about in the news right now with Jake Barber and all the rest of them, and saying that they're psionic assets. Well, right there is a psionic asset that probably got.
I don't even like the term psionic asset.
Oh, I hate
It's
that.
very exploitive because it's like taking people like. But I've got telepathy. It's people saying that they own these people and they want to use these people as a weapon or a tool. It's like people have got their own personalities, their own consciousness. It's like claiming ownership over somebody who's got special abilities.
Yeah.
I don't like the term asset.
All right, this one here is another video. It says it. I'm not sure what the Mendoza affair was. This is like not a physical affair, but Mendoza affair. Documents that were donated all these documents to them, and they made this film out of it, and then they commented on it. It says reveals the truth about the Mendoza affair. Let me see.
What is the Mendoza affair?
I don't know. We're about to find out here. I honestly don't know either. So we'll find out together.
I was 17 years old. My aunt had just given me my first cinema camera. Right away, I put aside my still camera and ran off to film our church to thank the Lord. Then I asked people to come out of their houses. It was a bit like still photography. I never really got out of that habit. I filmed Miss Fairworth, who married all her husbands in her house. She never wanted to tell me if it was true. Even when she was dead, she still scared me some. I filmed a man from the toy shop who displayed all his family in front of the shop to show that just because he was prosperous didn't mean he had a sinful life. I filmed Timothy Scarrow back when he was honest. I still to this day don't know how he turned into the bandit we know now. Timothy intimidated me a bit, but he was a great guy. On the day of his first court appearance, I was the only one waiting there. And when they finally took him away, I had no film left. I'm the only one who could remember his face at that moment. The newspaper boy was quite a little bird. He used to say he pulled out one of his teeth so he could whistle louder. Every year, people passed through who we were sure never to see again. But me, I didn't want to forget them. One day, I filmed the two we called the Railroad Twins. They were kind of well known in the county, so the train often used to stop to make them happy. They never got home. They never left Church Road. They always had their suitcases with them, but everyone knew they were empty. In fact, very few folks got on the train there to Church Road. The station keeper was always worried it was going to be closed down. He thought that it was a bit like his house. His son wanted to be a train driver. And I know he made it. I'm glad. Every day I filmed Margaret. I loved her. I filmed. Then we got married. We lived in this house for 35 years at number 66. And we got real close to our neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Young. We used to spend just about every Sunday with them. Mr. Young was kind of secretive. He was real proud of the situation. Mrs. Young was a real sweet woman. Robert Young was born 1 month before Gloria. We waited so we could baptize them the same day. A great occasion. We could say that from their very first hours, Gloria and Robert were always together. And we gave up all our time to them. We spent long days in the garden. We spoke of the future, about having large families. But life had different ideas, and neither the Youngs nor us had any other children. Gloria and Robert shared the same games, the same fears, the same joys. Maybe they shared the same memories. The day they went to school for the first time, we were as grown up as they were because We knew it was the end of the chapter. They were already starting to leave us. A while later, Young became sullen and irritable. It's true that in being protective of our children, we did everything we could so they'd stay together. How many secrets did they have left to share when they fell for each other? It was around the same time that Mr. and Mrs. Young got divorced. The thing that surprised us was how quick he had his ex-secretary move in. The day our children went out on their first date together, Young refused to lend them his car. I figured he was getting old with all the bitterness of a spoiled child, and as time went on, he couldn't stand the sight of youth and all the promise it contains. The long-announced marriage took place, but it wasn't the celebration we looked forward to, and everyone made an effort to get it over as quick as possible. 2 years later, the Mendoza business shook up Church Road. Maria Mendoza was 25 years old. She worked as a home help for some neighbors close by. One day, she disappeared, taking nothing with her. The police didn't make any inquiries because nobody lodged a complaint. Since I never filmed Maria Mendoza outside the house, I filmed her room. On the 28th of June,
What a creeper.
we were awakened by a strong smell of smoke. Young was burning green leaves. Was he trying to hide something or attract our attention? We never saw much of him. He'd never been interested in gardening. The following Sunday, I suggested that my wife give a puppy to the new Mrs. Young. Mr. Young had stayed over in New York on business. Seeing how happy she was, I was suddenly ashamed of what I was doing. Early next morning, I lay in wait. I decided to film secretly from every possible part of my house. To this day, I didn't have a frank talk with Young from the first. I would always film folks head on. Now found myself under covers, behind curtains, or balancing in the bathtub, keeping watch on my neighbor, who was happily walking her little dog, who she looked on as a real token of our friendship. I didn't like it, but I did it. On the third day, at 11:13 a.m., the dog went scratching around the bushes where I'd seen Mr. Young, but our neighbor intervened too quick and nothing happened. The fourth day, he was back there at 5:24 p.m., but his mistress was still right behind him. To get her to leave the dog outside, I asked my wife to call her on the phone, but in spite of the insistent ring, she went after him again. But I knew I wouldn't have long to wait. The next day, nothing happened. But on the sixth day, the dog stopped short. Something must have spoken because he didn't do anything. I had to wait for the ninth day. It was at exactly 2:38 p.m. that the dog went into the bushes. Mrs. Young only called him once. Then she too gave in to curiosity, and after making sure no one was about, she started scratching around real hard, like someone who really wanted to find something. At 2:54 p.m., she found, I saw it later, a glove. I guessed it was the first, but in fact, this one completed the pair. To my astonishment, she came looking for me. I asked my wife, who'd stayed eager to film everything I got up to. She freely showed me the blood-stained gloves and the place where, thanks to the dog,
I'm not touching that.
I acted like I was amazed and had just found out.
You trying to set me up, lady?
I started digging. I didn't see it, but curiosity can really get a hold of you. It took me a good half hour to dig up the bushes. I found the head first. Short head like a nun. It really was poor Maria Mendoza. Our neighbor asked me who on earth could have done this. I replied I was very much afraid it was Mr. Young. I could see she was real upset. She asked me how long I'd known. I told her about 2 weeks. I kept feeling sorry for her, and deep down I was mad at myself for what I'd done. But I just couldn't forget.
Oh my God.
She came back and asked me if that was why I'd given her the puppy. I'm afraid my silence said it all. Later, she told me that Mr. Young was real happy at the idea that he'd soon be a grandfather for the third time. I thought the children should be kept in the dark about all this. I reckon it was all pretty hard, real hard. So I replanted the bushes.
What?
And Sunday, we never spoke about it again. We just kind of tacitly agreed never to go down the end of the garden. As for me, I never again filmed folks sitting out front of their houses because I could no longer look them in the face to ask them. I gave all my archives to the Church Road Library. I saved my last shots for my family. I haven't touched my camera for 10 years now. When I look at these pictures again, I feel grotesque, man. I reckon we all were. What happened? What was I thinking of? Young died last year. I decided to talk.
Honestly, I don't know what that one's all about. I couldn't really hear the sound of the person's voice and the narrator. So.
It was really weird. Like, the neighbor wanted him to go over there
Mm-hmm.
and look in the garden, and she found gloves. And then he went over there, and the neighbor was like, "Oh, come on over and help me find out what's there." And he dug it up, and he found a head.
Buddy, yeah.
Yeah. So instead of going to the police, he replanted her bushes for her. No wonder this show was canceled. Like, I wouldn't air that on TV.
Wow.
Oh, here we go. This one is called The Extraterrestrial.
Oh, finally something spacey.
19. This is let me see here. The research pursued in Tacohamo was completed on the 20th of July, 1969 by Professor H.G. Wellmind. Okay.
In 96.
All right. So then we'll get to this one here. This one should be interesting. I'm not sure what this one is. But I would not air that stuff anywhere on the internet, period. Especially if you're talking about hiding a body. Like, guy just says, "Oh, yeah, I just casually went over and just replanted her garden for her." God. All right, here's this one, guys.
One on the plateau of Takahama, the first exchange took place between Earthlings and referred to by the term guests. And one of this extraordinary opportunity, our two countries put aside their differences. The place of residence of the guests was the military camp, which they did not leave for 8 years. The buildings on ground level at Takahama made it look like a modest training camp, but its imposing underground structure housed extensive research units. Nothing has ever been leaked about the type of experiments that were carried out there, the number of persons involved, and the research it pursued, even if we can easily guess as to their purpose. But as we can see from this footage taken after the evacuation of Takahama, all sensitive areas have been sealed off or destroyed. These precautions are a sure indication of the importance of this location and the secrets it still surely contains in the heavy silence that surrounds this gigantic wreck of top secret scientific research. In 1967 came the return. But the 3 Earthlings were never to come back from what had been said. Of the guests, only 2 were present. One of them, according to the official version, having escaped. The Takahama mystery had begun.
There's the actual professors too. Somebody look up them.
10 months later, one of the guests, answering to the code name Alson 2, was found in the district. On one of the tapes recently released by the International Commission on, you can hear this recording by Agent recording on these images, the only ones we possess of this surveillance.
Alson 2 is subject at very precise and regular hours. He only appeared at the window at the close of day. He was always dressed to go out and gave the impression he was watching for a signal or waiting for someone. During the 2 months of this surveillance, Alson 2 was completely alone. He never replied to the telephone, despite our frequent calls, and only went out 2 times a week. He always thought the same thing. I don't know where his money came from. The footage from when Alson went out has been destroyed at the request of one day, Alson 2 got onto it. I think he may well have known of our existence for a long time. Then, from the day he went into this house, he never quit for life.
One day, Alson 2 actually manages to slip this close surveillance and disappears again. Has he really escaped, or is this a transfer disguised as an escape? We shall never know.
Hmm?
1 year later, in those circles responsible for leaking Secret Service documents to the press, this unidentified film does the rounds. We're in a studio equipped with surveillance cameras. The mountain, we can't help noticing, is in the United States. It is inside of Lake Memphramagog. We are therefore on the Canadian shore. A precaution in case of incident. This footage was taken on the 17th July 1969. It shows us an individual who resembles the man we saw in the house. He must be in pain as he is taking medication. These medications seem to bring relief for a few hours. If this man is Alson 2, his condition is reassured, since he is clearly too weak to pose any threat. Any danger, if there were any, is thus remote. But it becomes apparent with the first pictures that what we are being shown is the interior of the house, which remained unseen by us in the surveillance tape, whose authenticity cannot be doubted. This permits us to hypothesize that this film is a fake, since it insists on showing us something which we have never seen and which has no point of reference. These pictures are from the 18th of July 1969. Remember this date because the choice of it is already a start to resolving the mystery of Taco. This footage was doubtless destined for the entirely respectable archives which wrapped up the experiments of the days. But who really is this man who's shown? Was he already sick? Did he know what was going to happen to him? In these pictures, he is surely being spoken to. If not, why the loudspeaker? Why don't we hear the sound? What is really being said to him? He seems to be totally lacking in any reaction. Of course, what orders are being given to him? It is the 19th of July, 1969. Look, at the right-hand corner of the bed, his box of medications has disappeared. Were these medicines or antidotes? Is it the reality of the fate he so anxiously awaits? It seems he has just found out the answer. Watch carefully what is about to happen. In a few moments, this supposed Alson 2 will achieve his destiny. But we are sure that his fate was decided a long time ago. Had he been conditioned, what choice did he really have? Well, we are to be spared no unpleasantness, for it is more important now than ever that this man die today, and that his death not be in doubt for one moment. These images are a message to the whole of humanity. Alson 2 died on the 19th of July, 1969. The next day, the 20th of July, 1969, Neil Armstrong set foot on the moon. The Paranormal mystery deepened.
I don't know about that one being extraterrestrial. I'm thinking more. I'm thinking more like fake extraterrestrial, because how did he die that quick? Unless it was environmental, but he was in that room for so long. You know what I mean?
I didn't get quite. Did they kind of like lock him in there, or what?
No, he just never went out, they said. He was in there. He went out twice a week. He left the building twice a week, but they destroyed the footage of him coming out of the building that twice a week from the CIA or something. They made him destroy it. So the CIA was watching him, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And they destroyed the footage of him walking out and walking back in.
Mm-hmm.
So they only had the footage of him actually in the building, but I don't know.
So is it, what is the reason why they would identify him as an extraterrestrial?
There was no reason given, I don't think. It was just that acting strangely, peculiarly. They would have him at the window, and then all of a sudden, like, you'd have him at the window and you'd see him, right? But I took a look at it, and if you take a look at it and you backtrack and you go real slow, okay, the guy doesn't look like he's walking backwards, okay? Like, he would actually like walk backwards. He looks like he's like just floating backwards. You know what I mean? He's like
Chair with wheels.
I could have been wheels. It was from the 70s, 60s, 70s. I don't know exactly when this was filmed, but like the 70s. He was standing up at the window, and then all of a sudden it just shows him go back like this, and he's just going back. You know, like he's floating backwards, and I'm like, okay, that was a little strange in my book when I looked at that, and I was like, okay, all right, that might be something. Now, this is great. So this is this is called the Ferguson case, okay?
My name is Henry Matthews.
And this is also another one that is copyright of me now, because I guess there is no copyright on it. So here is the second, not the second one. This is, this will be number 11. And you see they're real quick, but this one's about 12 minutes. So I'm going to skip a little bit of this, about 2 minutes in. Let's get to, yes, here we go. All right, so these guys are on their way to a person's house to do a paranormal investigation, okay? And once they get there, that's when everything starts becoming weird.
Well, it's pretty conservative. I think I want to verify the address. Henry, could you confirm the address for me, please? Well, this is the place. I don't see an intercom, so what I think we're going to do is just continue along up the driveway till we get to the house, and I'm sure that we'll find Mrs. Ferguson there. She probably seen us arrive on television set, and she should be waiting for us.
Yeah, they're waiting for Miss Ferguson to show up at her front door. Miss Ferguson is the one that they're going to her house because she says she has paranormal activity happening in her house.
Serious sound in her house. We want to check up on that. What that's all about. Mrs. Ferguson. Good, we're here. All right. I haven't seen any lights on it there, right? In fact, the place looks a little empty right now. While we're waiting for Mrs. Ferguson to come out, why don't we take a look at these grounds and what we see anyway? The trees over there, like the wall. Appears to be, I'd say, old manor house. It must be probably a good 100 years old. Lovely condition. Ah, there's somebody here at the front door. Mrs. Ferguson. Mrs. Ferguson's the at once crew. Come on out and meet us. We'd love to see you. Maybe she's a little bit shy. Well, that's okay. Maybe she'd like to remain anonymous. We at the One Show certainly do respect your anonymity. After all, this is your show, and well, if you choose to do that like that, that's just okay with us. We're just here to help you get your show going. Mrs. Ferguson. Wow. See what's going on here. Mrs. Ferguson. If you can hear me, it's the At Once Show. Would you mind if we came in?
Don't go into other people's houses.
That's pretty strange.
Authorization was,
Hello.
the house was given. Oh, that's great. Of course they gave them permission to enter the house. It's not their house.
Whoa. As you can see, this is a very spacious and gracious house.
I'll bet it is.
Someone's been hiding here for a very long time. They didn't want to be found. Take a look at that.
This ain't no tour of the damn house. Like, come on, guy.
I would say that that's an indication of the tastes of the people who live here. From whom we'd be very pleased to receive a guided tour at any time. Let's take a look upstairs. Mrs. Ferguson.
Oh, sure. Let's just walk around somebody else's house and start knocking on doors, right? Yeah. Great idea.
We'll open the door for you.
No, the door was open. She didn't open it for you. Let's get that right there, buddy. The door was already open. She didn't open it for you. It was open when you got there. All right.
Small lounge.
Oh, now they're in the bar. Of course they're in the bar. In the lounge, right? In the bar.
As I did take a look around here, I see that it's absolutely filled with pieces of art, all shapes and sizes of description. Obviously, this is the home of the great collector. But we still haven't seen Mrs. Ferguson, nor has she given us any indication of where she is. And can you hear me? Because I certainly cannot hear you.
Oh, yeah.
As you might be able to see, our light has gotten quite a bit dim.
The cameras start getting dimmer. They lost communication with the TV station now. They can't communicate with the crew. Everything starts going down inside that house. The cameras start draining. The batteries die. You see how much lighter that camera is? Like how the light is? It's so dim.
Mrs. Ferguson. Mrs. Ferguson, would you come out, please?
Look, they're just walking through the house. Just come on out.
Because suddenly, this horror film situation turned to drama. Sometime before, another car and crew had left to go to 1036 Sun Avenue. The pictures to be seen were these.
Of course they do.
Undeniable proof that it was the same place.
Okay.
1036 Sun Avenue.
They're there.
Now, watch carefully the pictures that follow. When I put the first proof back on air, this is what I received. Henry Matthews, I think you can still hear me, even though I can't hear you. So I'm going to continue with my version. I don't know how much you can see, though, because I've never done a live broadcast in the dark. So while we still have a little light, we're going to see what's around here. What's up? Come in, take a look at this. This is very strange. It's all over the floor. I don't know what it is. It looks like it's
What?
it's like snow.
Snow.
We couldn't believe it. And we kept switching from the inside to the outside. But then we had to admit that we were facing some kind of supernatural manifestation, a different reality. I had only to push that on-air button to let 12 million viewers see this spectacle.
Do it.
Nuts. But I couldn't push the button.
What?
Corridor. It's far too long to be part of the house we entered. I gotta tell you, I don't feel very comfortable about this whole situation. Something unhealthy, almost unreal about this place. I don't know what it is. One thing I can tell you, it's not fake. Prove that to you and keep going until we find out exactly what's going on about here. Mrs. Ferguson.
Kind of staticky a little.
Well, I don't know about the quality of the pictures you're still receiving, but can you see that over there? It's, it seems to be almost a human-like shape on top of what seems to be a sofa. It's going a little closer to you. Now, if you're feeling a little sensitive, maybe you just better back away.
You go in a dark room with a lady sitting on a couch you can't even see. Great idea.
Listen,
It's like a
Conveniently
horror
dark.
listen. I'm gonna do something over there. Go check it. Almost beyond this wall.
It's like a horror movie gone bad.
This house is in. See that? I mean, the one with the door ceiling over us. This is Ferguson.
Is there a waterfall?
I would like you to stay watching this
Did you hear the waterfall in the back?
powers, eaten by anxiety, not knowing what to do.
Hold on, look.
I'm gonna do something over there. Go check it. Almost beyond this wall.
Listen.
This house is in. See that? I mean, the one with the door ceiling over us.
Right there.
This is Ferguson.
Not the button, but when it went
Powers. This is
right there. That spot right there. There's water.
the one with the door ceiling over us.
They say you don't even have a ceiling over their heads anymore. What?
This is Ferguson. Come
I
on.
would like you to stay watching this picture, as we did. Powers, eaten by anxiety, not knowing what to do. We made inquiries. So did the police. We searched the place from top to bottom. In vain. All that was left of us was that telephone conversation recorded at the switchboard at 8:45. But there again, another great surprise awaited us. We had it analyzed to the extent of rooting out the words that were hidden underneath all that crackling. You'll remember that the connection was very poor, that the voice seemed very distant. And indeed it was. That conversation dated back to the 1930s, when Anna Mae Ferguson lived in that house. In those days, the region was developing. City development couldn't keep up with it, namely the sewers.
Oh,
So they had a lot of rat problems for a couple of years. And this is
did you hear that?
Not exactly. Can you just explain it, please?
Okay. The house is built in 1900s. They're on a call in the 1970s. Okay. This guy says that we just analyzed the call that came into the switchboard, and it sounds like it's coming from 1946. This is a call she placed in the 40s and 50s that was looped again, or maybe another like a time loop kind of, it gets set again. And they went to the house, and it was like the veil was lifted a little bit for that message to come through again. And they went through the wall. They felt they you could hear the waterfall. They say, "Oh, that's a wall," and they said, "It doesn't feel like a wall to me." And they said, "Mrs. Ferguson," they said, "Well, let's just keep walking." And then all of a sudden, you hear the waterfall, all this water in the back, like it's a waterfall. And they're like, "We can't even see the ceiling anymore." And then it cuts out. No more feed, no more nothing. Cuts out. They don't have any more communication with the crew. They send another crew to come find them, and they're gone. They search the entire house. The vehicles are there, but the people in the house are gone. They never found them. All those people that went in there are missing. That's pretty strange. It is. It is.
What are you trying to? So what do you think of that? There's like some sort of like wormhole or portal.
I'm thinking time slip.
Time.
It's kind of like a time slip, okay? If certain conditions are met or something, it could be like an echo. Like they said, that call was analyzed, and it was 1947 or something, and that call went out. And they went and they got that phone call, and that phone call is why they went there in the 70s. When they got that phone call in the 70s, they were live with her on the phone. "Hey, Mrs. Ferguson, we're going to be on our way to your house." "Okay, that's good. I'll meet you inside." Blah, 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 blah. She's inside. The door's open. But when they get there, they can't get a hold of her at all. So they go inside. But after all this happens, like I said, the television crew had the line at the switchboard analyze the voice and everything, and it came back to 1947 that message was sent out, and they were there in the 70s. That message got sent out in the 40s. They're there in the 70s investigating it, but they're live on the phone with her. How is that possible?
I didn't see the part where they were actually alive with her on the phone.
Before she called into the station, the television station, because she had weird noises in her house. And she said, "Come out and investigate." And they went to the house. And they went to investigate. And all 6 people that went in the house disappeared. Do you know what you want? Do you know what the messed up part is? I looked up this address, right? The government bought the land and they demolished the building. And not only did they demolish the building, they put a giant cement slab where that building was. They're calling it they're going to do a memorial there for troops or something, or the loss of troops or something. But no, they buried the truth. They bulldozed the house down. They found out maybe there was something there. They corked it and they put a bunch of cement there just so nobody else would. They demolished it, put the cement there so nobody else would investigate. They walked through a time slip, a time portal, any kind of a portal. It could be that, okay, this lady knows she has something in her house. She contacts. The veil is thin, right? Over here, you got 1947. Over here, you got 1976. If she's calling, if she like, could it be possible that she walked through a slip or something, like walked through the veil, went back, same house, just different. It's like time dilation, almost. Time moves slower or time moves faster, depending if you're in a gravitational wave or gravitational field.
But that normally that happens like the event horizon of a black hole.
Yes, but we can't stabilize something like that, but an alien race could. A mini portal opened up in her house, and she was like freaked out, called them to come over and take a look at it, but she's on the other side making that phone call. The lines are still connected. They're underground. It's a telephone line. We didn't have cell phones or anything back then. It was a connected line. Mm-hmm. So if it was an underground line and she's on this side making the phone call and that line's still connected, it should, in theory, still work. But you don't know about, you're going through a bunch of stuff that I don't even want to talk about, because that goes into way over my head with stuff like that. But it's a theory. It's a theory. It could have happened.
It's a theory, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a theory.
That makes sense.
We can't really say anything because, okay, well, I can say a couple things. Mm-hmm. I did research the house. It is a giant block of cement now. And they bulldozed it, and the government owns the land.
That's suspicious. It's a cement slab there.
Yeah, it's not even that they demolished it. Like right after they demolished it, I looked at the address. I went on Google Earth, went straight to the street view, looked over. I'm like, why is there a giant, like, maybe a half-foot thick cement slab on top of where this house was going to be, or this house was?
Can you bring up the pictures of that, please?
Oh, let me see. I'd have to find that for you there, Lady Daniel, because I don't have the pictures. I just have the video itself.
Okay.
But I'll bring that up for next time. I'll get the Google Earth shots and shit stuff from it. Mm-hmm. But this one is the last one we'll go over here. And this is Siberia. We are some. Let me get this one going here. This one should be pretty cool too. All right, here we go.
We are somewhere in Eastern Europe, a Western commentator would say, delighted to have fallen on a scoop. After long months of bargaining, this barrier was finally put up for the sake of politics. Officially, we did not need permission to film, since we are not in a camp, but in a sheltered residence. Those who live here do so of their own free will, because there is nowhere else they could live. These occupants are men from SCAR, SCAR is the code name of a program of biomechanics. That science which aims to improve human performance, to turn men into semi-robots. Don't laugh. For no sooner had this idea occurred to some Professor Brains.
Back up.
Did
Back
you
up.
just say? Did you say turn men into robots?
Yes, he did, and that was back in the 70s. Did you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my video is just messing up a little bit, but yeah, this was in the 70s that this was made. So they already had the notion they were going to make super soldiers, which
But the thing is, it's quite disturbing when he doesn't say like super soldiers. He says robots. So he's basically giving me the idea that he's making what do you call it? Like a meat suit.
Yeah, well, we'll find out because let's play just a little bit more and see. But yeah, like that got me when it said, I was like, whoa, we're talking about that in today's age, better soldiers and stuff and mechanical soldiers and this and that. But look, apparently it was already set up. They already had one set up in another country to do this kind of
SCAR is the code name of a program of biomechanics.
SCAR.
Science which aims to improve human performance, to turn men into semi-robots. Don't laugh. For no sooner had this idea occurred to some.
They said semi-robots. Semi-robots. So we're talking like exoskeleton suits or something. Maybe. Semi-robots. But this was in the 70s this show was out. So it's like, wow. And they even give you the code name. Everybody look that up. Code name SCAR. Back in the 70s.
Professor brainstormed, then it was put into action. Conceived during the Cold War, this
shit!
70s. But then what would come and the results that were obtained?
He moved that log by himself.
The men who paid the price.
Whoa, back up! It worked!
Professor brainstormed, then it was put into
Look at that!
The program was pursued into the 70s.
That's a solid log!
West that never seemed to come.
Oh!
Research was abandoned. Today, the men.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see that? That was a solid log!
Well, let's hope it's not fiberglass.
I mean, you have to go to pretty extreme to be like, oh my God, this guy, what? I gotta see that again. Oh, I want someone. All right. As long as this doesn't cause me a lot of pain, because there's nothing holding that. There's no ropes or anything holding that log on there. That guy picks it up and walks it over like it was nothing. Oh, okay. All right, we got to see that again. I want some of what he's taken, but I don't want to go through the pain that he went through to get it.
Conceived during the Cold War, this program was pursued in what was the war with the West that never seemed to come. Results that were obtained, the research was abandoned. Today, the men
It kind of reminds me of like a Wolverine story.
Together in this building.
Yeah.
Sheltered between them.
Yeah, like the Wolverine and everything. Like they took these soldiers, they were using them as experiments or something.
They, the men who paid the price for this experiment, have been brought together in this building, sheltered between a lake and the thick forest, away from prying eyes. We will only see this small group. It seems the others did not want to come, but they can easily be heard in the testimony which follows. Go on, speak for us. Yes, Peter, speak to her for us.
Okay.
Hello, Piotr. Thank you for talking to us. We don't trust those cameras of yours. They see us as circus animals. We'll show you everything we film, and you can tell us if you like it or not. Fine, like that, it's all right. Piotr, tell us what happened to you and how you come to be here. About 30 years ago, I was working in a sawmill. One day, my right-handed arm was torn off. While I was still in hospital, they came to see me. When they saw me, they said to me, look, your hand is done for. No ordinary doctor can do anything for it. We can help you. They could propose to me an experiment to get my arm better. But for this, they had to send me to the center. That's where they have all the facilities. Since I had no wife or children, I thought it over and in the end said yes. There, look what they did to me. They call that an arm. It's true, I can carry 950 kilos and press up to 1.5 tons per square centimeter. But the thing is, it's all homegrown technology, and it works like everything else here.
Did he say you can bench press 1.5 ton?
Mm.
1.5 ton is a lot.
They could propose to me an experiment.
Wow.
To get my arm better. But for this, they had to send me to the center. That's where they have all the facilities. Since I had no wife or children, I thought it over and in the end said yes. There, look what they did to me. They call that an arm. It's true, I can carry 950 kilos and press up to 1.5 tons per square centimeter. But the thing is, it's all homegrown technology, and it works like everything else here. You know what I mean? Here's where I live. All those things, I did them with my elbow. My arm starts up by itself suddenly all over the place, and I break it. Those lumps too, it was me that did them. It was me that bended it. My arm went off like a spring. Everyone laughs at the noise it makes. And there's my reinforced bed, and the walls are reinforced. Like the door.
Wow.
Hello, Piotr. Smile, you're on TV. And that's what things have come to. I wanted to open the window and my hand got stuck. That's the story of my life. A simple gesture, a tiny gesture, and it's catastrophe. Let's try it like this. No, that won't work. It's too small. No, that's no good. It's no good. Let's try something else. Go on, try. This one's stronger.
Crowbar.
No, it won't. Let's try again. I'll be back in a minute. All right. Life stinks. Life stinks. My grandmother was right. Life stinks.
Idiot!
Where's he gone? I'm glad to see you guys. It'll be drinks all around. Well, our friend's stuck, are we? Yeah, the bastard's stuck. Come on, let's try. All together now. Careful, it's a hand. One more time. We should try the blow lamp. Don't worry. Careful, it's a hand, you know. One more time, give it a try. That's it, push. Great. You couldn't break the window by yourself. You had to call 2 other guys in to help.
Holy shit, you gotta cut it off. Cut it off.
Stop. You're going to break the teeth on the saw. Crack the blade. Get the blow lamp.
Oh, they're using a blowtorch. Now you know that it's not a hand. Come on now, it's not a hand if they're using a blowtorch on it.
Keep still.
And now you got look, now you got a chisel. Come on, that would have hurt. That would just break every. No. Oh, you got it.
This man's an expert. The next time you want to open the door, use your feet. Let's go to the hospital.
I want to see what's in there. I hope they show it. Because I will pause it on that.
Tell me if it hurts. Don't worry, I know you've got golden hands. All right.
Come on, show me the inside.
No unauthorized close-ups.
Come on.
Materials, top secret.
Ooh. Yeah, it's open.
Rusty. Here, here, and there. We'll have to soak it in oil. And have you got any oil? How do we do it? We'll manage. We Russians are incredible. We can get out of anything.
That big Russian.
On a low flame.
He just stuck his hand in oil. In boiling oil. But you can see where it's connected there.
Hold it right in.
On his arm, right there.
Why not? How's the invalid?
That
All
must be
right.
a battery pack, maybe.
Let's see if it's okay. Good. We can operate.
Can operate. Come on, show me the inside.
Smoke's a nuisance, but I don't want to risk it cooling down because last time we had to start all over again. You should ask them for a fan. Keep these rags on the joints. And we'll have to see you again. There are 823 like him in the camp.
823.
Officially, the SCAR camps throughout the territory number 15. That makes almost 12,500 forgotten by the Cold War.
Ooh.
Do you think that thing was powered by nuclear?
I don't know. I don't know. That's weird as.
Because the Russians were very much into nuclear fission energy being the future, and
Yeah, but you would think you would think it would deteriorate or something like his skin.
maybe later in life it did.
I mean, you just heard like the Russians, they were way ahead of us then. 12,500, 12,600 people that are forgotten now, like that were experimented on. I can't believe
well, the Nazis also did weird experiments like this as well.
I can't believe that this guy had a hand like this that they made for him, that it was like it turned him into his own super soldier in the 70s.
More like a cyborg.
Yeah, kind of assisted almost, yeah. Like, but he said it was out of whack sometimes. Like it would just maybe it was like not connected right with the nerves. It would just go off at one time, you know? That was weird. But yeah, no, that one will go definitely on my top 10 of weirdness. But
It seems to be that one is more valid than the kind of like the witch one and all that.
I don't really. You can't validate the witch one because they don't show you continuous footage.
Yeah.
Now, if
I
they were
personally don't believe in witches and things like that. So
not that. I mean, you didn't see it continuous. The one thing that I did see was the guy jumping off the rocks now. I don't know how that happened. Unless they had like 9 different
teleporters.
9 different people spread around the canyon or something, and 3 of them went around the corner, and then the other 3 showed up over here. Like maybe, but if this was an actual paranormal show that was going to come out in the 70s, they were going to do actual information. They said they validated everything, the videos, the photos. They were there. They shot it. They did it. Then they can't do a fake. They can't fake it if they're trying to make it a paranormal show. They're following the evidence. They're trying to follow it, but that really got me when that guy jumped off.
You also got to put in mind is when, like, say for example, you get like these ghost hunting shows. They have it looking for the ghost hunt, but then it's listed under as entertainment. So when it's listed under entertainment, you know, there's a few strings that get pulled, and
a few. There's a lot more than a few, but I mean, for entertainment purposes, I mean, they could do a lot of stuff, but we are talking in the 70s.
But that body one was insane. That body in the garden, that was like, what the fuck?
that I just had to sit there and I was like, man, if this guy just went on this paranormal series and said, hey guys, I helped the lady next door bury a body. Like, whoa.
What?
Yeah, like you're sitting there like, oh, are you just serious? Did this just air on the TV? You know, and there's one other one that I wanted to show here, and it wasn't even like this one was actually one that was it was sent. This is the Jellyfish Iraq UAP that's half invisible, half not. That just sort of like floats through the screen, you know. Let me see. Let me pull it up here. There it is. Yeah, this is a translucent UAP. Looks like I'm going to have to pull it up on the Google. That's fine. All right. So this is the translucent UAP that went through. Now, let me get it to the one part. Let it go here for a sec. Yeah, it's not actually playing on my computer right now for some reason. It's like all weird. It's being all weird. All right, let me see what I got here. All right. I guess we're not going to show that one. I'll have to double check on that one. But all right, Lady Daniel, we're going to call it a night right now. Since
I've got you a link. I've got a link in the private chat about that jellyfish UFO and how it's being debunked.
Oh, the jellyfish. Yeah. The jellyfish. Which one though? There was the one from
The one that was the one in the military base that was like moving like a drone.
Though, because from what I saw, it was translucent. Well, we'll have to go over that. We'll go over that on the next one. But
I've put the link there.
Yeah, I see it, Lady Daniel. I'm gonna click that, and then we'll go there, and I'll look at that and see what happens. I'll double check that because I don't like putting out stuff that I already know is false. So, but yep, we will go ahead and call it a night, guys. Sorry for like the I don't know what happened in the beginning with the internet, with the guests and everything, but we will. Woolwine, we're definitely going to have them back on. I'm going to, like I said, we're switching Saturdays. This Saturday will be, well, today would have been, we would have had Jeff Woolwine on, but right now it's just, he had internet problems. He had a lot of weather problems down in that area. So we switched him. He will be back on here next Saturday. So instead of going over all those videos, we just went over the old show and everything right now. We're not doing that next Saturday. We're just switching the days.
Swapping.
Yep, swap days, and hopefully he has better weather.
One thing I like about it is that moon, the moon. That's the one that's got me inside my head.
I looked at it and I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, is that? I'm like, there's no way he took that video on the ship. I was like, no way. If that's real, I mean, I'm going to double check that. I'm going to snip that video down to like just that moonshot. Just a couple seconds we see, and I'm going to send that through every artificial intelligence everywhere I can put it through to see if they can find the exact video that came from. And if they can, it's debunked. If they can't, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It was quite fascinating as well with the Earth in the Earth rise. That was like, wow,
Yeah. Then you were like, and you could see I couldn't keep it stable with the moon and the Earth. Like he was trying.
Have you ever seen any spaceships on the moon by looking through borrowing somebody's telescope, and you're looking through, and then you've seen spaceships? Yeah. I have. Yeah. I've seen this massive saucer moving along the surface, just above the surface, and you could see the shadow and everything, and was flying on the.
Yeah, we got. Let me get here. There was one shot. Now you got me going, Lady Daniel. All right, we got one shot here of. It was pretty cool, actually. The moon. There's a moon shot where the moon gets hit by this massive asteroid.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see like the debris and everything come up from it. I'm actually looking for it right now. It is like really, really neat. Let's see here. All right. I'm looking. All right. And where's the moon? Where's the moon? Is this the moon? Yeah, look for the moon. Look for the moon. I'm looking for the moon. Is this the moon? Nope, that's not the moon.
That is no moon. It's like on Star Wars. That's no moon.
Yeah, right. That's no moon. Oh boy. All right, let me see here. Where is that one? Then it has to be in this one. Looking for this moonshot. Alien autopsy. See, I got a bunch of stuff. Like we were going to go over a lot of stuff. Like this guy was, I guess he debunked the Phoenix Lights.
Mm.
He debunked it, and he's got all the footage and stuff to back it up. He debunked it, and I got to have him on. I do, because I didn't think it was debunked until, you know, he had said something to me, and I looked into it, and yeah, it was debunked. He debunked it. I don't know. I don't know. That was a real weird one for me, the Phoenix Lights. And we even had one of I even had a guy send me the Phoenix Lights. All right, I can't find the one with the moon. I'll have to find that for you later.
Mm-hmm.
But the Phoenix Lights incident, we actually had the original footage. I'm going to pull that up now that I found it. And the original footage shows this is IR. This is infrared. Pull up on the screen here. All right, so this is IR and infrared. That came the same day as the Phoenix Lights. All right, so do that again. Come on.
Buffering.
No. Always with the buffering. Fine.
So are you playing these off a Google server?
Some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of them aren't playing on the computer right now.
So, because sometimes it's best to keep things mostly offline on a disk, and then you just load the disk and then you just play them off the disk.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, yeah, but that is that was a weird photo though. That was a weird thing with the actual moon in the background. I don't know if I could actually get that the same as they did, or I don't know.
So basically, is this guy that we the guest? He's mentioning about debunking the Phoenix Lights, right?
Yes, I'm actually got them all downloaded right now. So I'll show you right now, real quick. This one is let's go to downloads. There we go. All right, let's see if it works. Yes, there we go. Okay. So this is the IR that was taken the same day as the Phoenix Lights, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Helicopter footage. There's that one going. Oh, look at those three. Like, there's a triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Black triangle. Like, See that right there?
Yeah.
There's that black triangle.
Mm-hmm.
You got a white triangle too. Well, no, that's the bottom. Triangle. Look, it even locks onto it. See?
Mm-hmm.
They lock onto that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know that. That's my military talk happening there. Oh, they locked on again. Yep. Now, mind you, the only way they can lock onto these things if it's not moving very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, look. Oh, there we go. That's in vision. Then they lock on. Then it goes faster. Lock on. Faster. So they can't lock onto it yet. Well, there it is. But you see, like that. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. But he said he's going to debunk it. This one is from a. That was from a secret helicopter that was in the area the same night as the Phoenix Lights.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is the original, with commentary from the people filming it, Phoenix Lights.
I got him for spotting scope somewhere here. Somebody wants to look at it. There's two side by side. This is slightly different.
There's another one. Oh, look. 1, 2. There's another one. Where? There's another one. Oh, look at that.
Please, God.
There's another one. No, we're excited. We're not. They keep working. There's
I got that one on video.
There's 4 of them. Look at them all together.
I got the third one popping in the door to your left. There's one behind the chimney. One just squared up. I got 4 of them. Major sighting here.
There's 5. Another one just showed up.
They're multiple.
Maybe somebody's setting up lights.
No, those are in the sky.
There's one underneath the house too.
There's one behind the chimney.
Come on.
See, look,
I can't see how this works. How does this
Holy. Oh, you got 2 marks. No. That's weird. They're lined up in a pattern, man. There's geometry behind this. Man, this is. Yeah, it's over the top right now. I don't know, but I got it on tape.
It just appeared.
What does it look like, Bill?
It disappeared. What do they look like in the camera?
They look like. They look like there's 3 of them.
What do they look like? Like they spears before?
Yeah, they're spears now. Did you complete circles? Yeah, they just transformed into circles right now, right as you're talking. Now they're not spears. Hey, Stephen Greer missed out, didn't he, Bill?
Stephen Greer. Did you mention Stephen Greer?
Did I hear that right?
Yes. Try go back.
Stephen Greer missed out, and that was 97, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just transformed into circles right now, right as you're talking. Now they're not spears. Hey, Stephen Greer missed out, didn't he, Bill?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
No, this is a first for me.
Yeah, you like it?
I have similar video of this from other people.
He said Stephen Greer missed out.
But didn't somebody say that Stephen Greer said Stephen Greer summoned them?
Somebody said something like that he was.
Yeah, with Stephen Greer, summoned the Phoenix Lights.
He was off in his desert and he was meditating, and he said that he was gonna bring them into the location of where he was. But when he vectored them in, he said he vectored them into Phoenix, and then he passed out and he went to sleep. Well, when he woke up in the morning, that's when he woke up and he said there was a major event on the news in Phoenix, Arizona, the Phoenix lights. And he said, I caused it, which I don't know if he did or not. But I do know that it's a really, really neat video. And I want to know, now I'm even more curious than ever how this guy is going to debunk this video. I want to see it. Like, hey, I'm not worried about it. If it's fake, we don't want it. If it's real, bring it on. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to show stuff that's fake. That's why I wanted him on here. If he really has evidence to debunk this, I want to see it. I want to see it.
The way we were seeing it when you see a big thing.
I definitely want to see it because these are orbs. I just don't know I don't know how far along our drone technology was in 1997.
We'll see for next week because I've got another idea, but I'll wait and see for next week.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We are going to do the last one of the night. Okay. Last one. And this will be an emotional response to the kid's words from a UFO.
Mom, turn.
Kid has an emotional response.
Look, this is that colored thing. Yeah, I know. Holy. Not orange. What is that? What are you? No, Hiram, look. It just totally changed shapes on here. And I'm not moving. Okay, guys, if you watched from the beginning of this, you saw, look. What are you? What are you? Seems friendly. Hi. Do you want to change colors? Or is that just your color? What are you doing? Oh my God. What are you doing? So that was it. That's the one that I saw. Whoa. That's a drone. You're very interesting. Oh my God. It's turning into a circle. Whoa. Could you change colors?
Oh.
Yeah, you're sweet. Thank you for doing that for me. Come dab me up. Yeah.
Come grab me up.
God, you are so beautiful. Oh, what the fuck? Pardon my mouth. Wow, you guys are so beautiful. Thank you for letting us see you. Thank you for changing colors for my son.
Wow. Hey, that's what we should be doing. Like the emotional responses, the goodness, the feeling that you put into something. That's exactly what we need to do. That's why we're here, right, Lady Daniel?
It's like my video that I shared talking to the mothership that's above me.
Yeah. Wow. That was incredible. It really was. But yeah, I mean, it's been a great night. We do have another guest coming on Wednesday. Don't think we're gone for the entire week. All right. We still got guests on here. All right. We have a new guest. It's going to be out on Wednesday. Wednesday, we will have We will have Jason Guglielmetti from the UAP Studies podcast. He's a leading, groundbreaking platform dedicated to uncovering the truth behind the unidentified aerial phenomenon. He has an unwitting commitment to uncovering the truth. Jason's topic is essential for listening for anyone who's interested in the evolving conversation of UAPs. And he's part of the SCU, the Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies. So what we're going to do is, the SCU is the Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies. We're going to pick his brain. We are going to pick every little piece of that brain of the UAP studies and figure out and put the pieces together as we go. Because the SCU, Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies, is a great place to get more information for us, more information for the group, more information for the public. Get it out there, get it to everyone. You know, that's why we're going to have them on here. So we'll see what happens with that. And with that being said, we will end tonight with how we always end the night, with the personal quote that we humans are all one species, born of Earth, to spread peace, love, and light throughout the galaxy. And that's all we're here for, people. That's all I want to be here for. I'm here for everybody here. My email is down in the description. If it's not in the description, I'll put it in there now. It's silent.angel, or silent.angels. Let me get it right here, people.
Why angels?
I don't know. It just came to me. It did. It just came to me. So it's silent.angels at tutamail.com. It's TUTA mail.com. So silent.angels at TUTA mail.com. And you guys can send any stories, any ideas, any guest ideas, anything to there. And even if you want to reach out, I might not be able to help you if I'm not in your time zone, but Lady Daniel is halfway across the world. She will be able to help you on that time zone. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning there? 3, 2, 1?
Yeah, 2 o'clock.
Oh my gosh, Lady Daniel. All right. Let's go to bed, everybody. Let's have a good night. Everybody meditate tonight and have some peaceful thoughts and peaceful feelings. And I'll be sending it out.
Peaceful contact.
And peaceful contact. That's important because you can never, ever expand your awareness without having a peaceful thought. Any destructive thought, it's just that. Destructive. But I'll be sending, like I said, peace, love, and light out to everyone here in the group, everyone here in the podcast. I love everyone the same. Doesn't matter if you disagree with me, agree with me. We're all here. We're all humans, and we're all one species. So let's work together at this. All right, Lady Daniel. You have a great night, and I will see you guys again on Wednesday. Peace, love, and light, everyone. Have a good night, Galactic Podcast.